Hey there, everyone. It's Trevor here, back with another Daclus quality review. This is part of my New Year's resolution to see every movie that comes out in my theater and do a little recording giving a review on my phone. Today I went to see Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. This is based on the book, The Taliban Shuffle, Strange Days in Afghanistan and Pakistan by Kim Baker. It's the story about her time as a journalist, as a war correspondent journalist, in mostly, I believe mostly she spends her time in Afghanistan, but it's also Pakistan. It says it's right in the title of the book. But basically, sorry, I'm a little tired. But this movie, it's not very good. The movie is, I think the problem with the movie is it's clearly, the format works better for a book. I haven't read this book, but um, you can tell because it's based on a real thing. So there's no like plot. Whereas in a movie, you have your beginning, middle, end, and it all pays off and all this stuff. This is more of a real life thing of and it doesn't really have the same format and same flow to it, which it can you can make it work, but there's so much that happens in it. I mean, this thing is years of time, and so there's a lot going on, and I don't think it really worked well. I think the tone sort of shifts a lot, and it goes it you don't it the type of movie it is sort of switches. I mean, it's sort of described as like a wartime um dramedy, but I mean it's got romance in it. It's got the comedy, but it's different types of comedy even. There's the sort of more raunchier part of the comedy, and then it switches, and I don't know, like the start was raunchy, but then it sort of went away, but then it kind of was there. I don't know. It 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 just was all over the place. It felt like in a lot of ways, and it I don't think it works well for a movie. I mean, if you're interested in this story, I'd probably recommend the book even though I haven't read it. Um, because it's a real thing, and I was hoping it was going to be satirical, and it's not really satirical at all. I mean, there's some, but it's mostly isn't. It's mostly just about this one woman learning, I guess, and growing as a person, and sort of just her life. It doesn't really. It doesn't feel like it tells you anything or is trying to tell you something. It just kind of. It's just what happened. I, there's not a lot in it. It doesn't feel like it feels like what was the point, whereas in a book I feel like it would at least feel like, okay, I'm seeing the perspective and seeing the life, whereas this, in terms of making it into a movie, felt that didn't feel like there was a point to it. It didn't feel like it made sense in term to be a movie, because there wasn't just a single, like, what is the point? Why make a movie of this? I understand making the book, having sort of your memoirs, and it's the strange days. There's a lot of stuff that happens, and there's a lot of stuff that happens, but I don't think it worked. And the switching back and forth again between sort of tones is weird. There's great acting in it, by a lot of the people. Tina Fey, Margot Robbie, Martin Freeman, and this one guy. I don't know the actor's name, but Fahim is the character's name, and he was great because you could just you look in his eyes. The look in his eyes was fantastic. Of just you felt the emotion. You were there, and I think he did one of the better jobs. Also, I'd say that there's really not a lot of it doesn't because there's so much happening, and it's hard to condense it, I feel like, probably into a movie time, that there's not a lot of payoff in terms of when you come to the big moment, this big sort of climax between Tina Fey and Margot Robbie's characters. It doesn't feel like it's really earned, because there's just there it needs to be in a longer format in terms of like a book, and I think that's what this is meant for. I don't think this should have been really made into a movie. If it did, I don't know. There might have been a better way to do it, but I don't know. I haven't read the book. Again, I'm saying this not having read the book, but I can definitely, while watching it, see how this could work well as a book, but it did not work really well as a movie. So I cannot recommend this movie. It wasn't terrible, but I can't really recommend it because it wasn't. It's not great. There's a lot of, I don't know. There's a lot of weirdness that it just didn't. I didn't. I mean, it's real life too. So some of the payoff, there's not like a straight up just, oh, this pays off, or it's leading towards something. I don't know. It didn't. I can't. I'm just saying I can't recommend it. All right. So that's that. That's Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Now, the rest of the movies. Tomorrow, I'm gonna be seeing London Has Fallen. Is that the name of the movie? Yeah, London Has Fallen. I haven't seen Olympus Has Fallen, so I don't know if you have to. It's probably just a crazy action movie with a bunch of action, and the story means basically nothing. Um, then we also, later in the week, I'm going to see Zootopia with some family. I probably won't. I don't know if I'm gonna be carpooling or anything, so I might just be recording a video by myself there as well. But until then, thank you for watching. Check me out on Twitter at Daclus. Spelling is in the title, Daclus. And you can follow Geek Wars Podcast on Twitter at Geek Wars Podcast. Now, what's Geek Wars Podcast? It's kind of the YouTube channel you're on right now is sort of part of it. We do on our YouTube channel reaction videos to sort of geeky trailers and stuff, as well as we do a podcast. That's why it's called Geek Wars Podcast. And so the podcast on YouTube is going to come out over time slowly, but it's going to be behind. So if you want to stay current, go check it out on any sort of podcatcher. So that's like Podbean, Podcast Addict, iTunes, stuff like that. It's probably on any sort of podcatcher you can find, your favorite one. Subscribe to that. Anyway, that's all. Thank you for watching all this. If you have more information, if you read the book, let me know. Until then, bye.